Gonna try, gonna try, gonna try. Work till I die, till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, 'cause I'm not giving up on my dream.
Hi my lovely Frosty fam, it's me, Karen Frost here at Nail Decadence, and I've got a little haul / design with gel for you. So as you can see, I got a new Handolly. Isn't she wonderful? So this is the new style Handolly, and you can see how realistic she looks. Oh, just look at that. Isn't that cool? That's so cool. So obviously I'm going to do a set on her because that just has to be done, doesn't it really? But I'll show you all the bits and bobs that go with this Handolly. Obviously the links are in the description box and all of that, and if you would like a discount on your order, you're most welcome to use my discount code, which is KFGIFT. That's also in the description box for you. So Kelly's put some sweeties in, some charms. Look at these. Some of these charms are really cool. Look at that. So many of them for, and these are freebies in your order. So you can't complain. Can't complain with freebies. And the rings, she includes the rings as well. In this particular box, there is a sample set of incandescent shine acrylic powders. I will be doing a video using those. I've done my own nails with these powders, and so yeah, when I get around to editing the video, you'll see these acrylic powders being used, and I'll let you know what I think of them then. But for now, I'm just showing you what comes in the box with Handolly. So you get a little bottle of monomer and some sample sizes of the acrylic powder. So these are the ones that I've got. This is a glitter one. It's really nice actually, that glitter. Got the clear, that sort of orangey colour is really nice as well. Anywho, so now on to what I'll be using for the design set. So I'm going to be using the SBD London Builder in a Bottle gel. And this is the pastel green. Now that is a sample bottle, which is why it's in the white bottle, because that's not the bottle you'll receive. If you were to purchase, you would receive it in the usual SBD London bottles, not the white bottle. I tested these out for Louise some time ago, so that's why I've got a sample bottle, just pointing that out, just in case you're curious. And then there's all the other bits and bobs. That Opal Crush, oh, it's gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. The Opal Crush, there's a few Opal Crush gel polishes, and they're just gorgeous. Definitely worth having in your collection. I'm also using my SBD London lamp, of course. So as this is a brand new Handolly, I thought I would show you how I get her ready for her nails. So I get my sanding band on a low speed on my e-file, and I will use that to just remove the surface shine from the base nails. That just makes it easier for your glue to stick. When you're sticking tips on, if you don't buff the nails first, your glue can sometimes have trouble sticking the tips onto it. So I recommend giving the base nails a buff before you apply your tips, just to make your life a little bit easier. So then I will size up the tips, apply some of the nail glue. You can apply it to the tip itself or to the tip of the base nail. As you can see, I'm applying it to the base nail, and as I press down with the tip, the glue spreads out to the wings. I don't use a lot of glue, very small amount. I found with practice and time and obviously experience, if you use a lot of glue, it actually takes it longer to set, and it can be a pain to wait for that to wait for your tip to stick. So if you use a tiny amount of glue, your nail tip is going to stick a lot quicker and a lot easier. So the less glue the better, really. So just a tiny bit on that very free edge, press my tip onto it, and then, like I said, that spreads the glue out towards the wings. Then I will, as you saw, use my thumbs to press the wings in. You can use tweezers to press the wings in, however you like, and I just want to make sure that those wings are really stuck down well. Then I will clip the free edge of the nails, depending on what set I'm doing. Sometimes I don't clip the free edge because I keep all the length, but I'm not doing a super long set this time. I'm keeping them sort of long, average long, not nail tech long, average person long. We're going for a sort of ballerina shape. So I will just go up the side walls and just make sure that they are properly in line with the base nails, just like I would on a human. You make sure that the tips are coming out straight from the side walls, so make sure that it's all in line when you file it. And then I will use my sanding band to blend the tips in. I like to blend tips. Depending on how thick your tips are, you can sometimes get away without blending them, but it's force of habit for me. I always blend my tips in. Yeah, it's just part of my routine. And I'll also remove the shine from the rest of the tip. That's a speak, Karen, put your teeth in. That's a necessity when using gel. You can get away with not removing the shine if you are using acrylic, but definitely when you're using gel, remove the shine from the tip. Give it a good buff first. So now that has been done and I've removed the dust, I can apply the rubber base coat. It's a nice thick base coat, this one. Don't want to apply too much, but you do want to sort of scrub it into the nail, which gives it good adhesion. You can see how I'm pushing my brush back up and down, sort of scrubbing it in. I do that for a reason. It's so that you really get it into all those scratch marks that we've made by buffing the nail. It really gets it in those little, they're not, well, it's hard to explain what the little ridges that you make when you buff a nail. You do put little ridges in, so you want to sort of scrub that top base coat right into them, and that way you get the best adhesion you can from your products. So once that has been done, I'll cure that for 60 seconds, of course. Now we can get on with the design. So first thing I'm going to do is use some of the clear builder in a bottle. I'm doing a line straight from the cuticle to free edge with that, which gives me something to apply these Fimos into. So I've cut a good few of these Fimo slices in half, and I'm going to, as you can see, apply them straight down the middle of the nail where I applied that clear builder gel. These are fiddly little things. And I faff so much that I keep changing my mind which one I want next. Yeah, that's just me being extra pernickety, but they're still fiddly little things. So you've got to have a little bit of patience with these Fimos when you're lining them up. I tend to faff an awful lot, so I will be quite pernickety with how I get these in line, but I will literally just keep alternating different colours right the way down until I get to that very end of the nail. Oh look, you see, they're just fiddly little things. And obviously the gel that I've placed down the middle, when I cure, I will flash cure that, and that's what will hold these little Fimos in place for me. Wow, that was the general idea You'll see why I say that in a moment. Oh, just watching this is it's like PTSD. Remembering these little things, not just stay where I want you to stay. They are faffy, but it does look really awesome when it's done. It is worth it. Definitely worth it. I'm just fishing around for another one. I just want to put one more. I've got a little bit of space left on the nail, so I'm just trying to pick out one I want, and then I'm going to cut that in half. And I couldn't cut it there because it was on my towel, so it wasn't cutting, so I had to get it on a flat surface, hard flat surface, and then I could cut it in half and then get that right on the very free edge. And then I will just make sure that they are all in line and sort of straight, well, as straight as I can get them down the centre of the nail before I flash cure them. Just sort of edge them about, and if there are any that are sort of overlapping a bit too much, I will move them, but like I said, that's just me being extra pernickety. So flash cure those in place. Now I recommend using the full lamp to flash cure, and this is why. Because I just used that torch to flash cure, I didn't do it enough, and look what happened. They were not flash cured in place, and now I've got to faff and get them all in line again. It's so annoying, but I thought I'd show you because, you know, we all make mistakes. I'm human, and don't worry about it. We'll carry on. So this time I'm flash curing it in the full lamp, and now that I know they won't move. So here we go. 10%. You see the difference? Look, they don't move now. So now I will just use the clear builder in a bottle, run that over all of those Fimo pieces, really pushing it into them to get all around them, because I really want it to seep into all the little crevices. I don't want any gaps. I want it to be, you know, no air pockets. So run that really, you know, rub the brush really into it, get it all a layer on, and then I can take a bead on the brush and then apply a bit more and float it over the top. There we go. So this is where I'm encapsulating all the pieces, but I'm also thinking of the structure of the nail. So I'll turn it upside down, let gravity help me with my apex. Use my brush to just sort of tease the product to the centre of the nail, because you want more in the centre than you have at the sides, of course. Then I'll flash cure that so that doesn't move. Then I can apply another layer. You want to build your nail in layers. You don't want to just try and build the entire nail in one go, because that can cause a heat spike, which you don't want. So it's always better to apply your builder gels in layers rather than in, you know, a huge thick all in one kind of thing. Definitely do it in layers. It's just better and less likely to get a heat spike that way. I know Handolly's not going to feel a heat spike, but regardless, I try to treat her as like a client as much as possible, so that I don't then, should I have a human in front of me, that I don't make any silly mistakes, because I'm so used to working on somebody that can't feel. So I try to apply the rules to her as I would, you know, a human client. And now I will use the pastel green builder in a bottle. Decent layer of that over the nail. Again, I'm not trying to do it too thickly. I'm not trying to build the nail all in one. A decent layer, get good coverage, and I'm just going to turn the nail over so that I can get it to flow to the centre of the nail like before. Let gravity help me, and also if you've got a detailer brush, it is helpful. Now I've faffed about a bit too long with this one, so it's moving again, so turn it upside down. Gel does move. These are thick, but they're not super thick so that they don't move. They are self-leveling, so definitely use gravity to help you. There we go, and once I'm happy with that, I'll get that in the lamp and flash cure it to stop it from moving. And just like so. And now I'm going to get some on that detailer brush and fill in that back area where I didn't have quite enough, and it wasn't quite opaque by the cuticle area, so I'm going to make sure I've got enough coverage there. I'm just using the detailer brush to apply some there, which is a bit neater than using the brush from the bottle. I mean, you can use the brush from the bottle, but I can be a bit more precise with the small detailer brush. And now I'm going to do the same on the index finger. This time I'm applying a layer first, getting that cuticle area nice and neat, and then I'm going to grab some of the builder in a bottle on my detailer brush, make sure that the cuticle area and sidewalls are nice and neat, and then I can get a good bead on my brush and then apply that to the nail to build it up to get the good opaqueness of colour coverage. I will flash cure that. Now I'm going to do my second layer. That ring finger, I did put quite a lot in one go. I really shouldn't have put as much on there as I'd had, so that's why I didn't apply any more to it after that. And like I said, it really is better to do it in layers than all in one go, because that heat spike would, if there is a heat spike, that would be so painful for your client. You don't want to do that at all. So don't do what I did on that ring finger. Don't apply it all in one bead. That's just, yeah, not okay. So I'll carry on and flash cure, and once that nail is built up enough, then I will leave it alone. But I am going to look at the nail from all different angles, and if I notice that there's a dip, then I will add more, because I want a nice apex. I don't want it to be too high. These nails aren't super long, and even if they were super long, you still don't need to have a super high apex, but you do want a nice decent apex, because you want the nails to be strong. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to use some of the Opal Crush on the free edge. That had a bit of a random brush bristle. That was hard to say, those bristle. Yeah, anyway, random hair that I needed to cut off, so I cut that off. And then just a very thin layer of the Opal Crush. Isn't that beautiful? And before I cure that, I'm actually going to stick a few of the Fimos into it, and then I will flash cure that to hold them in place. So I'm going to use some that I cut in half, because obviously little finger's not very big. It's little finger, called little finger for a reason, because it's little. So a few, as many as I can fit. I'll fit as many as I can on that very free edge of the nail, because I'm going to do an ombre on that one. So flash cure, hold those little Fimos in place, and now I will do my ombre. So I'm going to apply some of the builder in a bottle first of all, just a thin layer. Once I've got that slip layer on, then I will go in with a larger bead of it. And I've got a little bit too much, so I just scooped some off with the brush from the bottle, and then I will use my detailer to just manipulate it where I want it to go. Try and keep it in the middle. You see I'm pushing it up towards the centre of the nail. You want more in the centre of the nail than you have at the side walls and the cuticle, because, you know, they need to be thinner. The middle of the nail needs to be thickest. So again, turn the finger over, get gravity to help me out. Make sure there's none touching the skin, and if there is, I will remove it with a clean-up brush and some rubbing alcohol. So I'm just tidying it up, just making sure. I'm quite fussy with my nails, as you guys know. So once I've got it the way I want it, I will flash cure it in place, stop it from moving. And now I'm going to use the clear builder in a bottle to encapsulate that Fimo, well, those Fimos, because there's more than one. And I will also be using it to make my apex as well. So once that is encapsulated and my apex is there, I will flash cure that. The apex wasn't quite high enough, so I got another bead. I don't count my beads, I just use as many as it takes. Not happy with that ring finger at all. Some of the gel had slipped into the sidewalls, so annoying. Really shouldn't get it on the skin. Not good at all. But I will sort it in filing. Shouldn't rely on that though, don't get me wrong. Don't just rely on filing to sort out your problems. Try not to cause them in the first place. But sometimes these things happen, and if they do, this is how we fix it. We fix it in filing. Once I'm happy with all of that, I will give it a full cure of 60 seconds so that all of the nails are cured all the way through. Remove the tacky layer with some rubbing alcohol, and for my frosty filing freaks, it's time to file. Oh yes. So this routine that I'm going with on this occasion, because you guys know, if you've watched any of my videos, you'll know that I have different filing routines depending on how my hands and joints and arms and elbows and everything are feeling on the day. So on this occasion I've decided to do my sidewalls first, and whenever I start a routine I will use that routine on all of the fingers of that hand. On all of that is set, I won't mix and match my routines on different fingers. So even though I have different routines, whatever routine I start on that first finger with, I will continue that throughout the rest of the set. That way my sets are uniform, my nails are uniform, everything matches, if that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense. It's a good filing routine will help you to get your nails to look like a group instead of individuals. You want all the nails to be similar. You want them to be a similar shape and a similar thickness, and a filing routine does help you to get that consistent shape that you're looking for, which, you know, gives you a good set of nails. It's aesthetically pleasing if they are all similar. So as you can see, just tidying up those side walls. Make sure you support the nail from either side. So if you're filing from one side, support the nail the other side. It can be painful for your clients if you are not supporting the nail, so always support the nail. And now I'm going to use, this is a diamond bit. Cuticle area is not too bad, so I'm just going to use a diamond bit to go around that cuticle area. Make sure it's nice and flush. We don't want a step. We want it to be, you want the natural, when the nails grow out, you want it to look natural so that it's nice and flush and in line with the natural nail, so it doesn't get caught on your hair and stuff like that. You don't want to step at the back and the cuticle area. That's just not nice. So always make sure that's really blended in nicely. A good cuticle area can make a set, and a bad cuticle area can break a set, put it that way. It's really noticeable if you don't have a good cuticle area. It just makes the whole set look untidy, so do pay attention to that. And like I said, for your clients, you don't want their hair catching on the back of it or anything. Oh, showing you what bit I was using there. I thought I'd show you. It's actually just a diamond bit. Can't remember why I was decided to show you, but I did anyway. Yeah, diamond bit. As I was saying, you don't want it to, you know, your client's hair to be getting caught on it and stuff. That's just not nice. Who wants that? That's annoying, and that will just lead to lifting, and it will just lift further and further, which can then possibly lead to greenies. I mean, it's just a chain reaction. So seal that cuticle area in so that you don't have any of those issues. Just makes a set of nails just so much nicer to wear if you've got a decent well done cuticle area. So now I'm using I think it was a fine, could be a medium. It was either a fine or a medium. I think it's a fine because gel's so much softer than acrylic, so I think I'm just using a fine, tapered barrel bit, and I'll just even out the surface of those nails. I'm not really debulking too much, there's not too much to debulk, so I'm just making sure that it's got a good slope to the nails. I'm blending that because where you file the sidewalls, you've got like this harsh angle, this line down either side of the nail. So when you're blending the rest of the body of the nail in, you want to contour that so that that harsh line is not there on the sides. So you want a nice curve to the nails. You don't want to just leave those steps on the side, it's just not nice. So blend it in and make sure you've got a nice curve all the way around. So once I've done that, I'm going to use my sanding band, because I love my sanding bands. I've said it before, I'll say it again, they are awesome. They're not bad. They've got a bad rep, but that's not their fault, you know. They're only as good, your tools are only as good as the person using them. So do make use of your sanding bands. They're brilliant. My hands were hurting, so finish filing with a hand file was just like, no, that's not happening. So you can finish file with your sanding band, and why not save your arms and your fingers by using it? You know, your tools are there to help you make life easier, so go for it. Use your sanding band. And as you can see, I'm just making sure that that nail is contoured. I'm looking at that nail from all different angles, and I'm making sure it's nice and curved, and I've got a good slope, that my apex is in the right place, that I've got a blended from the cuticle up to the apex and then down slope towards the free edge, you know. And like I said about the side walls, you want to make sure it's not squared off. You want a nice rounded edge. So when you look down the barrel of the nail, you want a good semicircle shape. That's what you're going for. You shouldn't have a square edge when you look down the barrel of the nail. It should be just a nice contoured semicircle. And when I say look down the barrel, I mean you put the finger up towards you straight on, so that you're looking right down the tip of the nail towards the apex. That's what I mean by look down the barrel of the nail, just in case, because I know some people don't understand what that means, look down the barrel, but it literally means look from the very tip of the nail straight down, so that you are looking right the way down the nail. So you're seeing the underarch, the C curve at the same time, and your C curve and your curve of your nail on the top should match, you know, nice good semicircle. That's what I mean. So now I'm just perfecting and being pernickety. So I'm using my hand file. I did give it a little bit of a buff as well, but now I'm just using my hand file to just perfect those sidewalls and just make sure it is the way I want it to go. And then I will just blend whatever bits I've filed on the sidewalls, I'll blend that back in. So like I said, I don't want that squared off edge there, I want a nice curve, so I'm just using my buffer to do that. And now that I'm happy, I will remove the dust, and now it's time to bling it, baby. So I'm using the Tony Lee jewelry gel for the what they're called, pointy backed crystals, and the SBD London diamond gel for the flat backs. I do this because the Tony Lee gel is very thick, so it gives you a cushion of sorts for your pointy back crystals to, you know, sink into, and that way they're held onto the nail really well. And then for the flat backs, I use the SBD London one because they're flat. They don't require a super thick cushion to be placed into at all. So I'm going to flash cure those. So I'm just pointing, I'm making it my own cluster. I'm making it up as I go along. It looks pretty similar to some of the other crystal designs I've done. I tend to I know what I like, and I tend to gravitate towards what I like. And I do like this kind of, I don't know what, it's like a paisley-esque shape going from the cuticle down to the centre of the nail. I think that looks really cute. So it's fatter at one end and then tapers off. I do seem to gravitate towards that kind of cluster, but do whatever you feel like. Just go with the flow. Just add some gel and add some crystals as you go along and see how you get. I mean, you can always remove crystals if you don't like how they look before you cure it, you know. That's the wonder of using the gels to apply your crystals, because it's not like the glue where you put it and it's gonna that's it. It's stuck. It's as soon as you put that crystal down, it's stuck. You can't do anything about it. With the gel, you can move them around as much as you like. You can remove crystals if you wish. I love using gel to put my crystals on. For me, it makes sense, especially with me being so fussy and pernickety. I do change my mind often. Almost finished with that cluster. Sorry about the camera going out of focus there. The crystals are just making it go crazy. It's like, can't handle it. Too much sparkle, can't handle it. Few more crystals. Yeah, I'm looking at it and I'm deciding whether I want more. And of course, you know me, OTT, I'm going to add more. I'm like, no, I still need more. Add a bit more gel. I've not flash cured these yet. Only the pointy backed ones I've flash cured. These ones I'm still able to move them at this point. So I'll just nudge them about, and when I'm happy I will flash cure those in place. And now I'm going to use some of the Opal Crush. I decided as an afterthought to add some of this to tie it into the little finger, because the little finger was the only one that had the Opal Crush on. I wanted the set to flow, so I decided to just add a small amount of the Opal Crush on the middle finger where I got the Fimo down the centre. And I'm not covering the entire sides with it. I'm just going along where the natural nail is. So right just up to where the natural free edge is. That's as far as I'm going, so that the rest of the tip will remain clear. But that touch, it just helps tie in the Opal Crush that's on the little finger, and then at that the little finger doesn't look so random then. It looks like it's meant to go with the set. So there we go. I'll flash cure that in place. And now it's time to top it off and keep it tough. Oh yes, favourite bit. So here we go, tempering top coat. It's a really good top coat. It's got that whole scratch resistant technology in it, and it's a really hard wearing good, and it stays shiny. I highly recommend this top coat. It is very good. So I'm going to top coat underneath the nails that have a bit of clear on them in the tip, and then I can top coat the rest. So top coat that first finger. Nothing exciting on that one because it's just the plain pastel green. It is a lovely mint green though, so it deserved a whole nail to itself, I felt. And it got a bit of fluff. It's so annoying when you get a bit of fluff in your top coat. And now, oh look, aren't those Fimo pieces amazing? I love them, and that Opal Crush is just divine. Anywho, we are at the end of the video, my darlings, so I'd just like to take this opportunity to say thank you ever so much for coming to my channel and watching this video, spending some of your most precious time with me. I appreciate you. Thank you ever so much. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Join the Frosty fam. They are awesome, and I'd love to have you join. If you have enjoyed this video or it has helped you in any way, shape or form, please go ahead and click that like button for me. It means a lot to my channel. Thank you ever so much. I'd appreciate it. And if you feel like it, you are most welcome to leave me a comment. I am happy to talk to you. So that's all I've got for this time. You take care now, peeps, and I'll speak to you all again very soon. Bye for now.
Un placer, me dijiste no quiero nada, pero quieres todo, mujer. Baby, yo te hago soñar algo más rico que la miel, mi droga que te legalicen. No digamos el pecado, que hay cosas que no se dicen. Y en la piel tú y yo jugando, baby, ¿para qué te dices? Y tú solo dices que quieres más, que matemos la curiosidad. Eso hacemos, baby, si se nos da, será lo que será, los dos vamos a matar, toda esa curiosidad. Baby, si se nos da, será lo que será, los dos vamos a matar, toda esa curiosidad. Aquí viviendo roce, estamos solitos, ellas son más de las 12. Pegándote bien lento, baby, para que tú goces. No somos algo serio, pero bien si me conoces. Yeah, tú eres el antojo de mi vida.
Someday soon, I'm gonna make it.